The members have been sworn in, the bills filed, and with Governor Mary Fallon's State of the State address on February 4th, the first session of Oklahoma's 54th legislature will begin. Shawn Ashley of eCapitol told me what to expect in the governor's speech and the upcoming legislative session. Shawn, the session kicks off on Monday with Governor Fallon's State of the State address. What are you looking for in her remarks?
Well, I think what we'll see in Governor Fallon's remarks are some of the things we've seen in the past. First of all, the governor rightfully is very proud of what has happened in Oklahoma the last several years with a rather growing economy, and I think she'll focus on that. From there, I think she will talk about how she believes we can make that economy better. That's going to involve some investments in state agencies that will promote that, some public policies like workers' comp reform and perhaps tax cuts to help businesses in the state of Oklahoma, as well as some other issues which she has already talked about, perhaps some additional funding for the Health Care Authority for the Medicaid program and for the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services to help improve their programs that help Oklahomans across the state.
The state has additional dollars this year, $170 million more than expected. How do you think that money will be divvied up with mental health already on the table?
Well, you know, it's rather interesting when you start talking about that, because when you think back in December, we were told $215 million. Of course, the federal resolution of the fiscal cliff for a time being reduces that amount down to what they're saying now is about $170 million. We may see another change in that number when the Equalization Board meets in February. So that really is a tough issue for the lawmakers. The governor and legislative leaders have both talked about the fact that we could see changes in that number, which makes it hard really then to list your priorities. If you don't know exactly how much you're going to have, how then are you going to prioritize that? It will be a moving target for a while, and it'll be interesting to see how they resolve that.
Legislators have filed about 2,500 bills. What are you seeing as far as trends in the legislation?
Well, there are a number of trends, I think. First of all, in education, we see some very specific measures there. We began this last year with the implementation of the 8th through F grading schedule or grading program. They're looking at making some modifications to that, sort of clarifying and addressing some of the issues, some of which were brought up by superintendents who were concerned about the grading plan. We're also seeing a move towards sort of what Representative Lee Denny, who chairs the House Education Committee, calls the deregulation of local schools and giving local districts more local control. I think we'll see some of that happening as well. We also see, as I mentioned a moment ago, a fair number of workers' compensation bills, a fair number of tax cut bills. Just about any area of public policy in the state that you can imagine is being touched. There's even a proposal to prohibit sky lanterns, these lanterns that have the little candle under them that float up into the air because of the hazards they pose, particularly in drought conditions, of starting grass fires.
When you look at workers' comp reform and what might be accomplished this year, it's a perpetual issue, it seems, at the Capitol to reform workers' comp and then reform it some more. What do you think actually might happen this year?
Well, workers' comp is a very important issue for the business community in Oklahoma and many other states. It appears there's general agreement between the governor and legislative leaders in both the House and the Senate to move away from the judicial workers' comp system that we have towards a more administrative system. Now, when you say administrative system, you're talking about a number of different options. Oklahoma is one of just 2 states in the country that still has the adversarial judicial system. Exactly what our administrative system will look like, it's hard to say, because as you look at the other 48 states, there are variances from state to state. And so that will have to be something that has to be worked out. It's not simply a matter of saying, yes, we agree on an administrative system. It's on which administrative system we agree on.
And there's about $1.4 billion being requested by state agencies. That will make it interesting this year.
It certainly will, because as we talked about a moment ago, there's not $1.4 billion to pass out. There's going to be less than $200 million more than likely, and there are a lot of pressing needs out there, from the Capitol to roads to prisons, there are a lot of needs that need to be addressed.
And that's $1.4 billion additional dollars
Exactly.
that they're wanting on top of what they have already been receiving. Shawn Ashley will be talking to you every Friday and every week on this program. Thank you very much.
Looking forward to it.
All right.